Maybe I would ask you, from your privileged position of observing the educational sector, whether you can give us a few examples of where you think that Singapore already is leading, can be a role model for other countries.
Well, Arnold, first of all, I would hesitate to say that Singapore can be a role model. I think that we are always happy to share our experiences, what we have gone through. We have learned a lot from other countries, and we believe that we have a responsibility to share our experiences. When the IAP made the observation that Singapore has caught up with other countries in the area of education, I thought that this was a very worrying statement, because it's always risky to be the pioneer. In the past, when we were catching up, we always had somebody to study from. We look at what they have done, we look at the mistakes, we look at what they have gone through, and therefore we take their experiences and we adapt it to Singapore. And in that way, I think that that's one of the main reasons why we have made such rapid progress, which I think, thankfully, very few mistakes. But today, we have run out of role models to learn from. So in a sense, when you have caught up and there's really no one you can learn from, this means that you have arrived at the stage when you can start making your own mistakes. And I think that this is where we have to give a lot of thought. And the reason for my lecture this morning is to try and sketch out some of the principles which I'm sure the Ministry of Education would take into consideration as they work out this very difficult task of where our higher education sector will go to in the next decades. But some of the areas which I think have attracted a lot of attention worldwide is, for example, our primary and secondary school education. These are regarded as being among the best in the world. And Singapore students in our primary, even secondary schools, do well in international assessments. The competence of our students is undoubted. And what is very unusual is that this is across the board. It's not only just in a few schools. If you go to any school in Singapore, whether it's one of the well-known schools or one of the neighborhood schools, the standard of competence of the principals, the teachers, the quality of the learning which the students get is high. And this differentiates Singapore from many other countries. It's a complete contrast to, for example, the United States. The US has some of the best schools in the world, public schools, private schools. The US also has some of the worst schools in the world, particularly in the inner cities. And the standard is variable from a school in inner city, in one of the big cities like Philadelphia, New York, to a school in the suburbs, which is situated among affluent residents. Standards are very high. And I think that what has drawn the attention of educationists around the world to Singapore is how do we achieve this very high level of competence and learning throughout the whole school system, and allowing within that system peaks of excellence to develop in our school. And that is fundamental, because what is important is not just to have a few specialized schools which reach a very high standard, but that our whole school population, our whole population is available, is able to take advantage of educational opportunities which gives them a good start in life, despite no matter what is their background, what is their family circumstances. And I think that this is one of the great successes which Singapore has achieved since our independence. As I said in my speech, 65, only 3% of each cohort went on to have some form of higher education. Today, over 90% of our students leave school and go on to either university, polytechnics, or IT to have some post-secondary training before they embark on a job. And to me, I mean, that's one of the great achievements of Singapore.